Hi everyone, I'm Martina Galli from POLI.design and I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Industrial Design Engineering and Innovation. Please feel free to use the chat to submit any questions you have, which we will address in the second part of the session. Now, let me introduce I'm sorry, but it's not working. Okay, let me introduce the speaker, Matteo Ingaramo. I leave you the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello everybody. I'm Matteo Ingaramo. I am the scientific director of this specialization master. I am a professor in the design school of Politecnico of Milano, professor in design. My field of research is focused on product design since my PhD title that was a lot of time ago. About these masters, this master is about trying to give knowledge, but also tools for professionals that are fronting the constant change in the world of production and realization of goods, of products that are, of course, contextualized in a global fluidity of markets, of cultural cross-sectionings, and involving a constant technological evolution. The limits of the technological evolutions are interesting for us because we would like to try to push our students to merge technical and creative knowledge in order to innovate products that are existing or create a design that is supporting the new identities of products that are coming up in this context. Of course, surfing the change is not easy. As a school of a Polytechnic school in which the integration between conceptualizing the products and developing them is our daily task, we would try and we hope that we will be able to improve your abilities in running a design process, but also delivering to the realizators, so the one that will make possible your design, a reliable elaboration, a reliable delivery that will be a kind of contract for realizing your point of view in terms of design. The goals of the masters, are, as I was saying, trying to merge the abilities of creating the ideation and the manufacturing are connected with a very long bridge, made of a lot of steps of knowledge and of processes that are allowing you to realize your products. Here is not only conceptual, and getting an ability in terms of designing the product, but also driving your design to the end of the process. So being compatible and consistent to the realization world that is made by industries, manufacturers, developers, and technology suppliers. So the aspects about manufacturing and the selection of materials, adoption of new and emerging technologies will be a key, of course, but not only because we are focusing also on the strategic quality of our choices that are influencing the branding and the positioning of the catalog of our partners, our company partners in the market. In that sense, of course, it's important to absorb the elements that are making the brand evident and recognizable on the market, but also it's a matter of feasibility in terms of economics. And last and not least, for sure, in our school, it's a matter of aesthetical quality of the products that has to belong to the contemporaneity, but also being understandable and compatible to the contemporaneity in terms of style and user experience, of course, and being, let's say, positionable in a context of sustainability, inclusivity, and technological innovation. The structure of this teaching program is based on three main elements. The teaching modules that are strongly based on the process that we call learning by doing, so designing and learning how to design as a professional. The stage or the internship, as you prefer to define, and the final examination. The stage or the internship stage is very important for us because it will be the final step of let's say a kind of insertion of the young professional in a professional path. At school, it would be a simulation with professional partner or company partners, but then in the internship, you will be asked to spend your knowledge that you got at school. About the contents, those are the main pillars of our design program. As you can see there, we have technical tools that are supporting the conceptualization of products, like computer-aided design, and of course, this is not about getting, the tips that are making you modeling better, but they are giving you the tools to understand how to model and how to get the best from the softwares that you are using. Okay? Then we have modules that are giving to you tools of being designers, able to understand how to locate, okay, your design or an expected design of your company in the field of patenting, protection of intellectual property, and of course, trying to be consistent in a competitive world to the fast response to ideas that are not already discovered or developed on the market, of course. These kind of tools, okay, are making parts of a program in which we try to give you updated knowledge, okay, of the most innovative technologies and materials that are needed, okay, for a designer today, as a remind for some one of you probably, but frank exposition and transferring about our methodology, the methodology of Politecnico of Milan, that is making our tradition in terms of design science, okay, and putting them into a design process for medium complexity products. So you will have modules about how to run your design, how to structure your design process, and how to make it in a professional way. It will be mentioned also, it will be mentioned contents about business and innovation tools in order to have the complete range of insertion into the professional world and realization of products. So business and innovation with cost estimations and product planning and business planning made by companies, not the basics, but the method of planning that the companies are using, including, of course, what is depending by design thinking methodology. Then we will have knowledge about design-driven innovation tools. So it will be a module that is related to our knowledge about innovation, about design innovation, about an extended design conception that is integrating user experience to cultural aspects and from technical knowledge to, let's say, organization and running business. Then we have a number of, let's say, supports to the contents. We have an empowerment module. We will have seminars delivered by professionals or people that are working in companies. Some of them are our alumni. Some of them are not, but they are in strict let's say, relationship with our school or our master. You will have informations about your skill in communication of your design and your communication about your ideas. Last, but it's very, very important that we try to remind it, we dedicated a short module, very intense but very profitable, with an expert that is the innovation leader in a very big group of industries of sustainable and circular design and circular economy, in order to give you a kind of perspective that is more related to practice than theory in this case, on these topics, sorry. Professional outcomes. I think that it was quite clear with my description, but in order to make it more synthetic, this is a specializing master, so we are focusing on some aspects of the profession and not only on product, but a kind of product expertise, okay, in which you could be a designer, but you could be also a person in charge of the development or in charge of organizing the design process, so being a project manager or being a product developer if you're not a concept designer. So you will have all the, let's say, an overview of all the steps of the product development, and you could locate yourself in each one of them, or in a kind of broader point, from a broader point of view, that could be the one that is, let's say, in charge of the product management. We would like to remind that we have a strong tradition in design. We have roots in the cooperation between university and small medium enterprises, but more recently with big companies that are at a global scale. Okay, and the science about design that was elaborated in our department since a long time, the last 30 years, were dedicated to build a knowledge that is very strongly applicative, but it has a very structured approach with scientific pillars that are one of the reasons why we are ranked so high in the QS ranking all around the world, being stable in a stable positioning in the first 10 school of design all around the world. Product design is one of our origins. We are very proud of it as the Italian designers, but we would like you to have a lot of Italian designers that are not Italian at all, because they have a foreign passport, but they could be Italian designers too. So you will be more than welcome if you are attracted by this kind of approach, and I will be glad to select you if you apply. Thank you very much. I would leave the floor to Martina for the informations that are needed for your application.
Thank you very much. I'll take the floor again to provide more details about the application process for the next edition of Industrial Design, Engineering and Innovation, which will begin in November 2025. On the Specializing Master webpage on the POLI.design website, you will find the full list of required materials for the selection phase. And by clicking on the Apply button, you will be able to create your personal account and upload the necessary files. Then the application will be completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need any help, any assistance during this phase, you can schedule a call by scanning the QR code you can see in this slide. there are two main steps that you need to follow. The first one is the selection step, which must be completed no later than 60 days before the course starting date. And the second one is the enrollment step to be completed within 45 days. Please note that applications are processed in chronological order and spots are limited, so don't wait for the last minute. Additionally, by uploading your documents, you'll already be eligible for to attend the next recruiting days from June 2nd to June 6th, 2025. Then you can find the course fee listed on this slide, along with our promotional policy designed specifically for this program. An initiative to support the design potential of those who choose POLI.design. In particular, I'd like to highlight the Open Day promo, valid for applications received by May 30. Now let's move on to the Q&A session, and I will read the questions you wrote in the chat. So let's start from the first one. Which 3D CAD programs will be used in this master full-time? Is this master full-time or part-time, compatible with office working hours?
Okay, first about the working hours. We try to leave some days during each week in order to work by your own. Honestly speaking, it's not that compatible having a stable position in a company in which you have to be present every day of the week, because that's not possible. It's gonna be a kind of remote teaching that is not compatible with the expectations of the faculty, and in which we would like to have the learning by doing process, in which is very important that you are in the classroom with your colleagues and with the faculty actuating this methodology. About the softwares, Rhinoceros, of course, and we are working. Okay, of course, it's not working with parametric, not that much, but more with surface, and in order to have adding qualities to the representation too, and of course to the rendering. And we have a module that is specifically based on the additive manufacturing, in which the professor will, let's say, use and let you experiment softwares that are dedicated to additive manufacturing, to the 3D printing, and to enhance the qualities of this software.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe let's wait a minute for any other questions.
Okay. One thing that maybe could be interesting, if we don't have a specific question, is that in our master we are trying to have all the exercises at school as much as we can connected with true briefs that are coming from the professional world, or with the professionals that are in the classroom. For example, the first workshop is run by our alumni that are working, the majority of them, in a company that is a strategic product design company, and they are adopting their own methodology that was coming partly from our methodology. They are successful people that are delivering for us a course in a collaboration, so you will have a perspective of how the theoretical and methodological learning could be applied. So having an overview of that. And the rest of the workshops are the design studios are made with companies, as I said, depending on the partnership that we have. The majority of them are kind of global companies with a full international perspective. And of course, the brief that the company is giving to us is giving to you some, let's say, realism, okay, and but also still an opening for the faculty of injecting some methodological challenge into your work. Finally, what happens is that during the master you will meet companies that are adding quality to your portfolio, of course, to your CV. We run also extra activities in parallel during the master calendar that are optional and not mandatory at all, but normally our students are accepting to be engaged also in other design studio, and some of them are getting into a very good, let's say, show, okay, of their abilities, because during the design week we have some expositions, our pattern are exposing our works and so on. So why not to have some option more for your experience in the master.
Okay, so another one. How companies cooperate with the master? Are they involved in classes?
I already answered.
Yes,
Let me say
exactly.
that what is important to clarify here, that companies are giving their perspective, they have their expectations, because of course they are interested to have fresh ideas. But this is a teaching process, and even more important is a learning process. So we are focusing on the quality of the experience that the company could provide to us. We are negotiating the briefs, but we are respecting the rate of realism that we wanted to have. Finally, you will have the full, without any filter, okay, considerations by the company, and a mark that, or an evaluation that, better to say, that is coming from the faculty. The two things are a double, okay, let's say, feedback about your work that is made for you making progresses and not for evaluating a final professional work. It's for us is an open lab on your knowledge. But anyway, companies are asked to make part of the process. They will be in class, not all the time, because we have to alternate, okay, methodology and feedbacks from them. They give us prototypes, 3D files, and so on, and they provide to us the full strategy of their brand, and sometimes the updating about their technology knowledge that is the one that you're going to use during the master. So we have a full, let's say, commitment in involving companies as much as we can.
Okay, thank you. Then another one. Are there company visits or visits in general during the master?
Yes, we will have basically two kinds of two type of visits. Some of them are technology focused, about processes or materials, or techno shows that are held here in Milan, in the fair of Milan, and others are visits, to cultural visits, so on to personal students of studios of famous designers, or museums that are for us useful to enlarge your point of view, that will be guided by us, okay, in order to select some perspective about the Milanese design culture that is making part of our origin, and it's making part of our roots, of course.
Yeah. Okay, another one. At which companies could we do the internship? We cannot provide the names, but maybe we can mention the type of companies.
What is written in this presentation is that we deal with middle complexity products. It is to say that they are not, let's say, one material and one process, like could be a glass of water, let's say a glass in, or it cannot be, on the other side, a car or a vehicle that is made by 20,000 parts with a lot of different products in a product. We stay in a average level of complexity that makes us to focus more in the sectors of household appliances or mass consuming electronics, okay, excluding let's say smartphones and digital technologies itself. So those are mainly the ones that are more attracted by us. So and we would like you even to work on products that are, let's say, related to a daily use, okay? Let's say shortening the process of approaching the let's say the contents of the exercise, in which you are already, let's say, trained about using these kind of objects. So objects that are daily, mass consuming products, household appliances, and could be medical devices, the one that have let's say motors, engines, mechanical solutions that are of accessible level for engineers and for designers coming from different schools from over the world with different technical knowledge.
Okay, another question.
Sorry, in any case, the level of the company is mainly of a global kind. I could mention Electrolux, that was our partner since a long time. Now we quit because after 5 years it was too much, but Electrolux is one of our partners. We made exercise with Piaggio vehicles, but the part that is not, I mean, the part of motors, but is the part of habitation and so on. Then we are partners of a number of medical device producers, and it could happen that in this range you can find the partners of the future.
Okay, another question is, as a mechanical student, okay, I lost it. Okay, as a mechanical student, what do you see in a portfolio?
Yes, that's an issue. If you were working on parts of products, or you had some personal experience working on design in a team that was made with others, you could put it into the portfolio. If you don't have any picture or drawings, don't deliver any portfolio. We know that students in mechanical engineering or even in material science that are allowed to apply, they do not have a portfolio, but we consider it. Of course, it's needed that you have basics about three-dimensional modeling, because that's important. If you are a material engineer, it should have the basics, but is asked, okay? So don't worry about delivering a portfolio that you don't have, because engineers are always without, no problem.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'm
Thank
really
you,
sorry,
Martina.
but we ran out of time. But don't worry, we will answer to all of your questions by chat, of course. So thank you very much, and thank you all, and stay tuned for the next presentation. Thank you.